right, with simplifying radicals advanced, the part that's going to be different or added, new, is the idea of an imaginary number. So when we take an even root, we can't do that. So if we think back, if I want to get 4, let's say, that would be 2 times 2, or it could be -2 times -2. And there's no way for me to get two numbers multiplied together to get me a negative number. So what happened is we have an imaginary number that takes that place. And so right now we're just going to do that bare minimum of introducing it. And so as we're looking, when you have a negative, we are always going to break this down to be a -1 times a positive number. So we don't like that negative under the radical. And so from this point on, when we have a negative underneath the root, and it's an even root, so notice that we don't have anything written here, so it's a 2, but this also holds true for like 4, 6, 8, anything that's an even root. When you see that square root of a -1, that is now going to be I, which is an imaginary number. And we're just going to try to remember that from this point on. So as we're looking, we've got 56, which is 7 times 8. We've broken down the 56. 7 is prime. We're going to break down the 8 to be 2 and 4, the 4 to be 2 and 2. So notice that really we've done exactly the same thing that we've done up to this point, with the added idea of when you take the square root of a -1, or the square root of a negative number, or the 4th root or the 6th root, any even root, when you have a negative, you are going to have an I. But other than that, everything else is the same. So like I said, there's a 2 here, so we need 2 of a kind in order for me to take something out of the radical. We also have our 4 m's and our 7 n's. And again, we're grouping that in 2's. So we have 2 m's, 2 m's, 2 n's, 2 n's, 2 n's. And we're looking to see what we have left over. We have 2 2's. So as we're looking again, we know a couple things. We've got a 2 from here that we can take out. We have 2 groups of m. We have 2 groups of n. Oh no, we have 3 groups of n. Let me fix that. So we have 2 groups of m, 3 groups of n. And because of this little guy here, that square root of -1, we also have an I. And then what's left over is a 7, a 2, and an n. And so when we simplify, we get 2m to the second, n to the third, I, root 14n. So that's a little bit new, but again, that idea of taking the square root of a -1 and that being I is going to hold true from this point on.